Hi, welcome to the December edition of the Mathnasium monthly math movie. We're going to mix things up a little bit this time just because. It's the last day of November, so we're going to do the raffle drawing, we're going to reveal the estimation jar answers, we're going to have student of the month, and a bunch of other fun things today. Speaking of student of the month, let's start with that. So there had been kind of a legend going around that I had heard ever since summertime that there was a student that their family was going to take him to Legoland, and he didn't want to go to Legoland because he didn't want to miss Mathnasium. That was kind of what I had heard, and I had spent a while trying to track this student down. I'm like, I got to figure out who this mathlete is because he's serious about Mathnasium if he wants to skip Legoland because he didn't want to miss Mathnasium. I mean, that's kind of crazy in itself. So I just had to figure out who this kid was, and I tracked him down. The story didn't quite go like that. He just wanted to make sure he didn't miss out on Mathnasium, so he wanted to schedule his sessions before leaving for Legoland. So that was critical to him. He didn't want to miss Mathnasium. So I found out who this student was, and I'm honored to announce he's our mathlete of the month for the month of December. And that student is going to be Caleb Madero. I talked with Caleb. He's a third grader. I took some time to chat with him today. He's an amazing kid. He loves math. He loves Mathnasium. And I try to ask him, sort of serious questions like, what do you like about math? What do you like about Mathnasium? Those can be hard questions, especially for a third grader. And like they say, the kids say the darndest things. And I asked him what it is about Mathnasium that he likes, that he gets here that he doesn't get other places. And he started to look around kind of like this. And I know for Caleb, that doesn't mean he's not paying attention. It means he's thinking and he's trying to be creative. So I let him look around and think about it. And he said, it was amazing. He said, at Mathnasium, and I'm kind of paraphrasing, he said, basically, we don't just teach the basics, the math. He said, it's like learning math from all over the world. And I think I know what he meant by that. Obviously, we're not teaching math in other languages, but he understands and appreciates that there's different viewpoints that you can make on certain topics like math. And our goal isn't just to get an answer or to be super fast or anything like that. We want kids to like have a really good grasp and a solid foundational working of math in their life, and that they can think about math in different ways and approach problems in different ways, and sometimes be creative. So I really love how he said that, and that even made me sure even more that he is going to be Mathlete of the Month. So congratulations, Caleb. You are Mathlete of the Month. You get your certificate to hang proudly. You get a 25 punch card award for that. We're going to hang this up in the window for a couple of years until we run out of space. And you're going to get a seat of honor when you come in for your session. So good job, Caleb. Woo, good job. Also, you're going to get a yard sign. So we look forward to seeing photos of that in your yard. And that's pretty awesome. All right, so next up, we've got a bunch of stuff to do. I'm going to pick it up a little bit. We have the estimation jar. This month, we just went standard Jelly Bellies, jelly beans in a jar, nothing more standard than that. So, and I gotta say, Katie put this together, and I got first chance at the guessing, and it turns out I was actually really, really close to the answer just by kind of counting and estimating and doing some basic multiplication. So it's not hard to get pretty close. I think I got pretty lucky. Anyway, the total of this month was 747 jelly beans in the jar, which is a pretty big number, so we didn't expect duplicates. And we got lots of guesses. I graphed them on a histogram so you can kind of see where people were guessing. The average is way down here. The actual value is kind of way over here. So we're all guessing kind of low still. So kind of as a group, try to guess a little higher. There's a lot more in there than probably you're thinking about. Anyway, the actual was 747, and our closest guess was 753, only off by 6. And that's awesome. and that was Riley Kirschke. I'm not sure I'm pronouncing that right. It sounds like a Slavic kind of a name, but Riley Kirschke, you are the winner of the guessing jar this time with the jelly beans. Came really close, so good job with that. Let's put that aside. Oh, and that brings me to 747 is the number of the month. 747. We're talking about the number, not the jumbo jet, the most famous airliner in history, the 747. So first of all, gonna kind of walk through this, and I'm gonna, again, I hang these up on the bulletin board if you can't see this, but let's just talk about 747. I thought about a little bit. I like to think about factors. That kind of helps us understand what numbers are like. It's odd, so I immediately know it doesn't have any even factors. Right? 2 is not gonna go into it, or 4, anything like that. It looks kind of like a multiple of 11. When I first looked at that, I went, ooh, 7 plus 7, if I add the outer digits, it should be the inner digit. That's a multiple of 11 for sure. This one did not quite work because I get 14, and yeah, there's a 4, but not teen. So it's not a multiple of 11, darn. It's not a multiple of 5 because it's not a 5 or a 0 on the end. I can kind of look at it and I know, well, 7 goes into the 7, but it doesn't go into 47, so I know 7's not a factor. So this is looking to be sort of an interesting number so far. So the other thing I like to do when I'm looking at factors, and this gets us 2 factors at the same time, is add the digits. And if you're not familiar with this little technique, it seems kind of odd to add the digits, right? What does that do for us? But it turns out it works. It helps us figure out if a number is divisible by 3 or 9. So we add the digits and we get 7 plus 4 plus 7 is 18. And then we just have to look at 18, which is a smaller number. And if 18, if that's a multiple of 3, then I know 3 is a factor of 747, but it also tells us 9 as well, more importantly. And sure enough, that's 2 9s, so I know 9 goes into 747. So that's going to narrow it down quite a bit. I'm not sure of any quick tricks for dividing something by 9, so I just did some quick long division right there. And I got 83 is the other factor, which I know is prime. I hope that's prime. So 9 times 83 is 747. Kind of a wacky number, who knew? But there it is. I could break that 9 down into 2 3s, and then I get like a 200 and a 97 or something like that. If I want to break it down that way. So I probably did that wrong. So anyway, 747, number of the month, and the world's coolest airplane. All right, next we got fun stuff. We're gonna go over the calendar. Last month, in November, we just finished up our charity drive. You guys did awesome. We took pictures. We're gonna come up with totals and come up with some final tallies for that. But you guys, I'm looking at the charity donations, the money donations that you guys made are on the wall, and it looks awesome. It's like almost wallpaper over there. Plus we filled up a barrel and then a big, huge box in the back of a truck and some other stuff. So thank you for participating in that. I hope you felt good doing it. That's kind of the whole point. It's not something that's natural for people to do, just give stuff away, but it really does feel good knowing you're helping people, and we appreciate everything that you guys did as a Mathnasium family. So the other fun stuff I wanted to talk about, this has been in the center for a while, and we've been having some fun playing around with it. And some of you kind of look at it and go, huh, no big deal, because it's just beads in a jar, right? And it's not surprising to mix up some beads and have some of them float and have some of them sink. You're like, well, these are lighter than those. And so you're like, no big deal. But the trick is just let it sit and be patient. So we're gonna let that sit and be patient while we move on. Let's talk about fun stuff coming up this month. The other thing we did in November was the Mastery Check Challenge. We just took it down. You guys did it awesome. You filled it up. We got all the stretch goals. We didn't quite get sprinkles, but I think let's have sprinkles anyway. I'm gonna just say it. We're gonna have sprinkles anyway. So you guys did all of the stretch goals. We're gonna have a big hot chocolate party this Sunday at 2 o'clock. It's only gonna be for an hour or so. So try to get here. We're hoping everybody's just gonna show up at the same time, and let's just do a big, huge party with everybody with the whipped cream, the marshmallows, and the candy canes and the sprinkles and all the other good stuff. So that's Sunday, right after we close at 2 o'clock. We'll be doing that. And then after that, we got bingo scheduled for later on, just before Christmas. And then after that, we're just going to be having days off for Christmas and New Year's. Wear some, the last day before Christmas, try to dress up. Wear your Santa outfit, or your Jingle Bells, or your snowflake sweater, or whatever it is. Try to dress up with some holiday cheer. That'd be awesome. So let's go back to our mysterious bead bottle. And for some reason, these are rising and those are sinking. And we could let it sit here for a little bit longer, but they're gonna meet in the middle and just be perfectly happy right in the middle. And so I'm just gonna talk about real quick what's going on. Obviously the beads, these are lighter than those, so they float above and they float below. But the trick is, the mystery is, there's actually 2 different liquids in the bottle. There's sort of salty water on the bottom, it's heavy, and then there's alcohol on the top, and that's lighter and it seems to float. Normally water and alcohol will mix, but if you make it salty water, it won't want to mix with alcohol at all. And so they eventually separate out and you get alcohol on top and salty water on the bottom. And the trick is that the light beads will float in the mixture, but they'll sink in the alcohol. And they're lighter than the salty water. And the heavy beads are lighter than the salty water, but not lighter than the alcohol. So the mixture of the 2 is just at the right density, that it's in between the 2. And then once they separate, one becomes lighter and one becomes heavier, and they move to the opposite end of their respective material. So anyway, it's kind of cool. It's not something you normally see, things floating together in the middle, but you just have to know those are 2 different liquids, and that's how that works. So pretty cool, mysterious bead bottle. And then last but not least, we're gonna do the raffle. Got it all set up. Looks pretty full. You guys have been doing tons and tons of mastery checks for the Mastery Check Challenge, and that shows with all these 100%. So we're gonna dump all that in there, put that back together very gently, and we're gonna mix it up. We're gonna draw first place for a $100 bill, and then second place we'll get 25 punch cards, third place we'll get 10 punch cards. So here goes, I'm feeling the energy of the raffle tickets. Here comes first place, $100 bill right there, smiley face, yay, smiley face gets it again. The number's on the back. Samantha Kitajima, you won $100 bill. Nice job, Samantha. And then let's draw out second place, and hope I can read the name. I can't read it. It looks like Ethan Nave. Ethan Nave, second place, 25 punch cards. Redeem that in the reward cabinet. And then let's do third place. Third place is gonna be, let's see, I think it's Taysir. I'll have to double check that. Taysir, you are the third place winner for the raffle. Nice job. And look at all those other raffle tickets. You guys did awesome. Cranking out mastery checks and making progress on your Mathnasium learning plans. You're doing great. You're all mathletes. Have a great December, and we'll see you next year. Bye-bye.